Hi everyone, Dave here, back with another video. I know I've been away for a couple weeks. I was due to some things outside of my control. I posted a small video on that and why specifically I was taking some time away. If you guys are interested, I don't want to get into it now, but I received some very nice and supportive comments on that video, so I appreciate that a lot. And I've been really wanting to get back to making videos. My computer is finally up and running and all set. I'm trying to reteach myself how to edit because I actually used to know how to edit a fair bit, but just over the years, I have never had the opportunity to use any of my editing knowledge, and then I kind of just forgot. And also programs and everything change over time, so I have to reteach myself how to do that. But I have ideas. I was going to say very good ideas, but they're good to me. I don't know if they're very good overall, but I have ideas for videos, stuff related to manga, stuff not related to manga. And I do want to do those eventually. But for right now, for today, we're going to stick with something simple and just talk about 5 manga that I stopped collecting for whatever reason. Really, the biggest 2 reasons are either I lost interest or it just wasn't for me. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. So let's get started. Obviously, I don't have the manga with me because I sold them. I stopped collecting them. I got rid of them. So there's no visual aid. You don't need to watch this video. You could just listen to it in the background while you're reading a book, a manga of your own or whatnot. And let's just get into it. So the first manga that I stopped collecting was Samurai Deeper Kyo. Is that, I guess that's how you pronounce it. If I'm looking off to the side because I have them written on a Word document here because I didn't want to forget them. That's why I'm doing that. But I stopped collecting this manga honestly because I kind of fucking hated it. Like, I really disliked reading it. I picked up the first 2 issues and or volumes, and I couldn't even make it through the first one. I love samurai stuff, like feudal Japan, Edo period Japan is right up my alley, but this I couldn't get into it. The writing, I just didn't like the writing, I didn't really like the characters, and I just hated, I don't know, and I just kind of hated how, like, every female was kind of treated like an object and really heavily objectified. And maybe that's like, maybe I'm being a little too sensitive, but honestly I don't think I am. But like, there's one scene in particular where like the bad guy's like, we gotta prove that he's such a fucking bad guy, so he like rips the girl's blouse or whatever, and that just really doesn't sit right with me because it's like, okay, we get it, you're a bad guy, you don't need to be a fucking creep, and I don't know, just something, it just didn't sit right with me, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. I really disliked it. So yeah, not much more to say about Samurai Deeper, which also is a dumb title. Like, maybe there's meaning behind it, as the story goes on, but Samurai Deeper, it's like, samurai, but more than, like, we're even more samurai than the other samurai. We're samurai deeper. Like, it just sounds like a porno. Like, it just sounds like a samurai porno. Like, samurai deeper, dude. Fuck, dude. Ugh. I gotta get back into these videos here. My jokes are flat, but whatever, dude. Samurai Deeper, stupid. Next manga that I stopped collecting is Sleepy Princess in the Demon's Castle. This was the one that I mentioned. I think I mentioned that I actually still have one of. It's on my shelf. I'm too lazy to grab it, but I have volume 1, and I planned on continuing to collect it, and it's very funny. It's a very good series. I just didn't because I'm collecting a bunch of other stuff right now, but it's pretty much about this princess who is kidnapped and lives in the demon castle, and she's very sleepy. And every chapter is about how she's trying to fall asleep. And it's very cute. It's very funny. I don't feel it necessary to collect, at least right now. Maybe in the future, I might watch the anime and we'll see what happens there. But that's pretty much it with that one. I definitely recommend it. If it sounds interesting to you, it probably will be interesting, because I like it. I just don't have a desire to collect it right now. But I'm not ragging on it. It's I'm not ragging on it. It's good. I just don't really have a desire to collect it right now. Third on our list here, and this is just 5 random manga. This isn't in any specific order. These are just 5 manga that I stopped collecting for whatever reason. So anyway, third we have Tagamibachi. I got to about issue 3 or 4, and I honestly just got bored. It's weird because everything about it, I feel like I should really like the whole story of it being eternal night and the sky. Maybe I'll try the anime. I'm pretty sure it has an anime. I don't know if it's dubbed or not. But maybe I'll give that a try, because I'm sure the art is very good. And the way that they set it up in the manga was it's this eternal night. The sky is this... it really reminded me of Starry Night, the painting by Van Gogh. Isn't that what it's called? Starry Night? That really famous painting. But it was that just being your sky all the time is probably really interesting, and I think would make for a very artistically styled anime. So maybe I'll give the anime a shot. But as for the manga, couldn't get into it, because besides the setting, and honestly, the story really isn't that bad either. I like how they're all letter B's, or couriers essentially. And we all know couriers make for great storytelling. I mean, one of the greatest stories of all time is the Fallout New Vegas story, and you play as a courier in that game. So I don't know. I really like a lot of what's going on. I just, for some reason, couldn't get into it, and I found it to be a chore to read. And when something becomes a chore to read, then that's an automatic red flag as to I don't want to read this anymore. So yeah, Tagamibachi. Really liked it, but just couldn't get into it for whatever reason. Next up, we have Prince of Tennis, which I got about, I think, 3 volumes deep. And I have nothing ill to say about Prince of Tennis. It just, I guess, came at the wrong time for me, because I'm just collecting other stuff right now, and I find it hard to get into yet another long sports anime or sports manga. I started watching the anime, and I took a break because I'm also watching a lot of really long anime too. But I love sports manga and anime. Tennis is cool. I have nothing against it. I really don't. I like the story. I just, again, came at the wrong time, I guess, for me. But I'll probably give it another try in some capacity, whether it be watching the anime or trying to collect the manga again in the future. But yeah, it's one of the few ones on here, aside from Sleepy Princess. Like both of those, I have nothing bad to say about. They kind of both came at the wrong time for me, so I stopped collecting them. And this is what? Sorry. And then this last one is probably the biggest offender on this list, and that's My Hero Vigilantes. I was very into My Hero Vigilantes. I was and still am very into My Hero Academia. Not as much as I used to be, but I still consider myself to be a pretty decent fan, and I still really like the series. And I thought, more My Hero, that should be sweet. And parts of it were. It started out, the My Hero Vigilantes manga started out pretty strong. Seeing the origins of Stain, for example, one of the most popular villains and one of the most influential villains in the My Hero canon, seeing how he became who he is very interesting. You get a lot of these younger versions of characters like Aizawa and of All Might, and a bunch of different heroes make appearances like Fat Gum and things like that, and they're not super young. It's not like they're teenagers or whatever, but it's Vigilantes is a prequel to My Hero, so it's very interesting to see kind of them come into their own a little bit. And it's, but it just kind of falls flat. For every Stain origin story we also get, an entire book on them, or an entire volume on the characters preparing for some festival. I love a good slice of life portion. I love slice of life anime. I love slice of life manga. If that's your entire thing, that's fine. Or if you do, for example, every anime has their beach episode, where all the characters take a day off from crime fighting or being heroes or having powers, and they all go to the beach. They have a good time. That's fine. But when your entire season, or in the case of a manga, your entire volume is that beach episode, that kind of wears a little thin, and that gets pretty old. And a lot of My Hero Vigilantes is just people talking to one another, whether it's about this festival or whether it's, Aizawa talking to this police officer that they're working with to solve this crime ring. Because, the main core of the story is these characters trying to stop the spread of this drug. I think it's called Trigger. I think it might be referenced in My Hero Academia or talked about. I honestly don't remember off the top of my head. But it's this thing that amplifies quirks, and all these dudes are taking it, and then they go on these rampages and get into trouble and whatnot. Which is fine. But it's almost it's interesting to see how heroes work with police. I always find that interesting in superhero stories, not just My Hero, but superhero fiction in general. What do the police think about these superheroes, and do they work together, do they whatever. But the manga takes it up to an insanely boring degree, to where it over explains, hey, Aizawa's chilling with this police officer and they're just talking. And maybe it's interesting if you're a huge fan of My Hero, or a huge fan of Aizawa, and you're oh yeah, I just want like, you know, Aizawa-chan or Aizawa-senpai, I could sit and listen to him talk for 80 billion hours. But that's not me. And I found it extremely boring. And I got up until like issue or volume 7, 8, 9, somewhere in there, one of those three. And I just stopped. I bought it because it was new at the time. And I didn't even read it because I was trying to catch up. And I was like, I'm just so bored. I am so bored. Because they're doing this festival thing. And I think they do it twice, if I'm remembering correctly. They have like some little festival thing. And then like they have another one. And it's like, why? Why? What's the purpose? I'm sorry, my dog is barking. I don't know if you guys can hear that. But it's just very boring. It's just really boring. And I got bored with it. And I really wanted to like it because, again, Origins of Stain, that's really cool. Seeing all these heroes in different elements or seeing heroes that we normally don't get to see often, very cool. The original characters are pretty sweet. Knuckle Duster is like probably my favorite hero in the My Hero canon. And he's not even in academia. He's, to my knowledge, he's like an original character for this manga. But it just wasn't enough, man. It wasn't enough. And that's why My Hero Vigilantes is 5, I guess, on this list of 5 manga that I stopped collecting. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know it was a very simple video. All my videos are very simple, but this one even more so because I literally just talked the entire time. I hope it was at least semi-enjoyable, as I said. But I have a lot of videos in the old noggin. More manga stuff, more comedy-focused stuff. Maybe even some gaming stuff thrown in there. And, yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy this, and thank you guys for supporting me and sticking with me. I really appreciate it. And if you guys have any input, anything you want to see, anything you want to see me do or talk about, let me know. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much. Love your faces. Nope, I can't do that. That's Philip DeFranco's thing. That's something I say. Like, I love you. Love your face. Like, I can't do that, though. Alright, bye.